Hey, Mark, how's it going?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Today, we're going to talk about downtown Barrie, the opioid crisis, and the police presence. You live down there.
Yeah, I do. So the news is welcomed. I've lived downtown since July now, 2023. Um, saw not everything, but I've seen lots of things. Open drug use, fist fights, people going crazy, people ODing, and then just nine people watching, meaning first responders, sitting there watching until he collapsed, and they go pick him up, put him in the stretcher, and away he goes. So I've seen everything like that. I've seen more recent because as I get to know the downtown more, I got my favorite spots. I go for lunch or I go for a coffee, and I've had some jewelry repairs done on a couple of things I've had, and I've knock on the door. There's a sign there, knock, we're here. So where I'm going with this is that a lot of the business owners down there don't feel safe,
And
right?
it's
So
changed.
it's changed for the worst. And, that's some several months ago, basically the city of Barrie had an open house where people could go and voice, what's going on. And of course, it was all small business people, from lawyers to the gentleman at McDonald's to other businesses, going to say, hey, we have a real problem down here. And this is why, and, damaging the property, people passed out in the front of McDonald's.
Going to the bathroom on their property.
Yeah, you name it, it happens. And so watching this, okay, I'm waiting for, and these people, the presenters, the business owners did a fabulous job. They were well prepared, great comments, took their time, used up all allotted time. And then that's it. No, I thought it was going to be more of a conversation with, what we're doing with the city. May say, we understand this is what we're doing. Nothing. It was just open house to go vent your frustrations, and that's it. So
Yeah,
nothing.
it was considered a community safety meeting, and
Yeah,
it's
but
on YouTube available if people want to watch it that live in Barrie or are interested. And the thing that totally blew me away, because I watched it, you watched it, because I walk down there with the dog every night.
yeah,
You're there all the time too.
all the time.
It affects us. It affects my
Oh,
life.
huge,
Okay.
huge.
And there was not a representative of the police force there, remember?
No, there wasn't.
And I'm
No.
thinking, this is a community safety meeting,
Yeah, we
and
should
there's
have.
no cops.
No, no, no.
And I heard of the one in Midland, and I listened to some of the minutes and stuff from other communities.
Right.
And the police chief was there, the fire chief was there, they were
Yeah,
all there.
that's
Barrie, there was nobody else there.
no, no. I know a few firemen in Barrie, and they say, God, we get excited when we have a fire now because that's all they're dealing is with drug overdose and the opiate crisis.
Yeah.
That's all they're dealing with today. And
Well, so you and I have talked about this and how years ago, even 5 or 6 years ago, before COVID, when you went downtown to a bar at night, if you had dinner and then a couple drinks, you would see police walking around, walking in. I mean, Jessica and I used to go down and we knew the police. Hey,
yep,
Mike. Hey, because they were so frequent there.
yep.
And after we watched the meeting, I said to you, I don't understand what's going on. Like, where are they? Well, I saw an article yesterday and I sent it to you because
Yep.
I was so excited.
Yeah, absolutely. It needs just not to be at times that this needs to be going on throughout the day. And there's before we go in this article, I watched a show and I encourage people to watch this show on Amazon. It's called The Beat. And when this is last year, I clicked on what's The Beat about? Surprise, surprise! It's about the drug addiction in Vancouver on the east side, Hastings Street. It's a group of police that the Vancouver police have organized a unit that just strictly deals with that crisis downtown. So I watched 5 or 6 episodes, and then it just got to be the same thing and the same thing all the time. And what they've done is, and I remember one sticks out in me, is that they've lost blocks and blocks and blocks because they never got on top of this properly. So it kept expanding and growing and growing. Look how much the drug addiction and the homeless has grown downtown Barrie. It's massive. There's garbage down there all the time. They are taking over. And I'm not showing disrespect when I say this, so I hope people don't take it that way, but nothing is being done either to help the situation or maybe find solutions. Nothing's being done. It's just getting more populated with this addiction downtown. So I remember watching that one episode where they went up to someone and says, you're not, that's your area over there. We've given you this area, basically. You are not to basically cross that line. You cross this line into this new area, you're going to be arrested. I went,
Yeah.
wow. Right. So because they don't want, it's growing. So they contain them in one area. Like, and I go, holy cow. What will Barrie, have that problem? Well, we've seen the expansion of the homeless and the drug addiction downtown. It's all, to me, it's all drug related. We've seen crime go hand in hand with it. We've seen business owners, as you're saying, locking their doors, frustration, property damage, broken into, stolen, you name it, right? How
Well,
bad?
and I saw one woman on the community safety meeting, and I won't name who it was, saying that, you shouldn't be afraid of these people, and that it's our own uncomfortableness. It's our own issue because we're uncomfortable seeing it in our face, but it's a real thing. Listen, this has nothing to do with my uncomfortableness of seeing it. It has to do when I'm walking my dog and there's 3 guys drinking beer there, yelling at me and saying things, and I'm by myself.
That's right. You feel unsafe.
I do. And I know due to, we partied when we were teenagers. I think everybody did to a degree.
Yep.
When people are high or drunk or on some kind of drugs, they're not themselves. They're unpredictable.
100%.
You don't know what they're going to do. So anybody that tells me, and are there true people out there that just want help and are in dire straits and they're not addicted? Yes. But unfortunately, the volume we see, they look strung out.
Oh, there's lots down there. Oh, it's uncomfortable. It's scary. We don't feel safe. And no one wants to go down to a nice area and see that. Let's be honest. I don't want to see it.
They spent millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And now if you're with a group of people, it's one thing, but when you're by yourself.
Yeah.
And I went down to the LCBO one day to get wine on Mary Street.
Yeah.
And there's I don't know why I went there, but anyway, it's just closer to my house.
Sure.
There was 10 or 12 of them laying along the walkway.
Yeah.
And I have to walk through them all, right?
Yeah.
And I was kind of nervous going in. And then they asked me if I had any money. And I said, well, you know what? I'll have some on the way out. I thought, you know what? If I come out carrying my wine and I give them $5, they'll probably leave me alone. And they did.
Yeah.
But I just thought, I might also just give them something so then I don't have to worry about them jumping me for my wine.
Yeah, I know. It's and some businesses like Bill LaBeouf Jewelers down there, he's been broken in several times. He has a security guard there the whole time, dressed in a uniform and everything.
Mark, the Wellington Street shoppers?
Yep, they do too.
Well, right now they don't, but last summer, cops every day walking through around the store every day. I go in there, I'm like, where am I living?
Yeah, I know.
I'm in a Shoppers Drug Mart and there's a cop car parked on the sidewalk in the front of the store and the guy's walking around the store every day. They're there. I'm like, what is going on? Like, I can't go into the drugstore now?
Yeah, I know.
So this article just came out on April 19th, a couple days ago. And there's a new police chief in Barrie who wants more officers visible in Barrie's opioid crisis. Now, they're finally admitting that it is expansive. It's increasing at a drastic rate.
Oh, it is.
We are exploring a struggle. We are exploring a strategy within our downtown as well as our park areas to address that. So what he wants to do, there was a Barrie Police Services Board meeting on Thursday. And while discussing recent community safety survey results detailed in a summary report, board members discussed what they said was the #1 issue with respondents, which is substance abuse. More than 40% of the people who completed the survey listed it as their biggest safety concern in the city.
So that's a large number.
Huge, right?
It's huge. It's huge.
So he said it is incredibly concerning to see, but not surprising. We face an opioid crisis like everywhere else in Ontario. It is expansive. It is increasing at a drastic rate.
Sure is.
We do recognize substance abuse is a health issue, but it has implications for public safety and perceptions of that. So he says he's exploring this strategy. They're going to reach out to community partners to try to deal with the suffering and throes of abuse.
Sure.
He said the city police want to increase officer presence in heavily populated areas. So when they see us, there is a greater feel of safety. So we are targeting that as an initiative to drastically increase so that people are safe and feel safe, which is sometimes an impossible balance, but we endeavored to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying that there was 95 deaths in 2017 to 2019. So that's 17, 18, 19, 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
There was 59 deaths in 2020, 74 in 2021, 60 in 2022. Last year, you know as well as I do, there was 6 in 1 week.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I wish they had the numbers for that one. I'm sure they do.
Well, last year was horrible.
It was terrible.
Yeah. So they will be bringing forward a request for funding for our community safety and well-being. Hopefully there will be some additional funding for that. And we will be looking for a plan to deploy those funds and to meet that specific goal. Now, the one thing that I learned from the community safety meeting was that they went to council, the police did, 4 or 5 years ago, and they got budgeted for 2 police to patrol downtown 24/7.
Yeah, never saw that.
Well, no, they did. They were doing it. COVID came, they stopped doing it.
Okay.
And we didn't reduce the budget, but the cops never came back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they were budgeted for these people, like 2 police officers, to do this.
Sure.
COVID came, nobody could go out, so you didn't need them.
No, for sure. Makes sense.
And then even though they have the money for them, they never put them back out there. So now he's going to look for some kind of funding to be able to put people back out there, which I don't understand. You already had it.
Well, yeah, I know it's needed, right? And to that people, now we're coming into summer months, warmer weather, more people will be going, be outside, going down there. And there's lots of activities going on at the Meridian Square area, right?
Yeah.
And that seems to be quite the hangout for drug addiction. We've seen it, and I've seen everything down that's where mainly I see it. So I think it's going to make a difference, and I hope it does.
Well, this kind of scares me here. Did you see this? Earlier in the meeting, in relation to police staffing, board vice chair and deputy mayor Robert Thompson singled out the appointment of new auxiliary officers.
That's okay.
People stepping up to do this job, it's something the community needs. It's very appreciated.
I don't think, as long as there's a presence of something down there. And
well, my problem is, Mark, my problem is, and where you had the issues even in your building where they came in, they assaulted
Oh yeah.
Tell that story.
Yeah, this is because building up a lock house, 185 Dunlop, where we have 24-hour security in the building, right? But the doors were always open, so anybody could just walk right in there without having any, visitors. Just walk right in the doors. There's no really security measures, which I found really kind of odd. But anyway, so one came in and caused a disturbance, started throwing food everywhere, assaulting the security guard. So now those policies have changed. All the doors are locked. You have to be buzzed in, et cetera, et cetera. But, a pretty scary event. And that's a little bit further off of the downtown core. Not far, but 500 feet maybe. So we're seeing that. So imagine, what happens if there's some little old lady leaving the building that day, all right, or just ran into that person. Like,
well, my problem is to put auxiliary appointed citizens that don't know what they're doing. I don't know. You saw it when people were in the throes of ODing. Everybody stepped back because it's too dangerous.
Well, they stepped back because the guy was freaking out. Like, I've seen that where there was 9 people watching, but these were all trained, first responders. They're not tackling this guy when he's freaking out. I saw it. I waited for the whole thing. And they all say, just wait. They're just having a good old time having a conversation because they know he's coming down and he'll just eventually flop. Sure enough, it's exactly what happened minutes later, right? Flop, pick him up, throw him in the ambulance, away we go. So why go tackle that issue now when he's at his peak, not
Yeah.
to be violent and dangerous. But I'm okay with the auxiliary officers. I just think it's a presence, it's a set of eyes down there. Will they have some training? Not some training, but I think it's a step in the right direction,
Listen,
whether
it's
auxiliaries or
better
not.
than nothing.
Right. If that means a lot of people, more presence down there, and maybe people feel safer, then I'm all for it. And, and if people want to know certain, what's even more detailed, go to the Barrie Police Services. They have a crime map on there. You can see what's going on in any part of your community, right? We've gone through it many times. And there's lots of shit going on in that downtown core. We know it. We've gone through it.
It's
So
not just drugs.
it's not. It follows everything else with it, right? Break and enters, stolen property, assaults with a weapon, goes on and on and on. So we see all the signs of what the addiction has, breeded from that, expanded from that. So it's all
Well,
there.
I always said too, it's like when we were teenagers, right? If you were drinking in a field somewhere or drinking somewhere, if you saw a cop walking around, you moved.
Oh yeah, you'd take off. Not today.
Well, I don't know, because there's not enough down there.
Well, yeah, I know.
We don't see them enough. Like if they were actually in their face all the time, would they be putting the needle? Like there's needles everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah. I don't know.
Would they do that if a cop was right there?
We're gonna find out.
We are.
Because I'm down there all the time, right? Walking and stuff like that. So
I hope it helps, man. I hope it helps.
And remember, give this a like, give it a share, and smash the follow button. And go check out the Barrie Police Services website for more details on crimes in different areas. I think we wanted the video just to bring it to people's mind, in case someone doesn't really know what's going on down there. But I think it's a step in the right direction. And if people are moving inside the community, they have some idea of what, some spots to stay away from.
Well, yeah, I think they need to know. And you know what? We're going to report in a month or two how we feel this is going and if it's getting better.
Yeah, and again, I'm always walking in nice weather here, so I've seen, and I have in the last couple of weeks, I've seen 3 days, 4 days a week when I'm walking, 2 police officers walking downtown. I'm seeing more of it, so that's good. Let's just see if it continues is the big thing, and let's just see
if it helps.
If it helps, right? So, step in the right direction.
Yes.
Okay, I think we're done.
Yes.
Okay, see ya.
See ya.